Hi everyone, welcome to Impact Academy. So from today, let us continue with one of the model paper in SNT. Okay, so let us try to cover as many questions as possible before the exam. So coming to the first question, consider the following statements with respect to the green hydrogen mission of India. Okay, so before answering the question, let us see what is the green hydrogen mission of India. So Union Government of India approved the National Green Hydrogen Mission with an outlay of 19,744 crore from fiscal year 23-24, okay, to 29-30. So this is very current. Okay, so you need to try to remember this thing around from 23-24 to 29-30. So to 2023 to 2030, and the outlay is around near to 20,000 crores. Okay, so that is the National Green Hydrogen Mission. The overarching objective of the mission is to incentivize the commercial production of green hydrogen and make India net exporter of the fuel. Okay, mission will facilitate demand creation, production, utilization, export of green hydrogen. So basically, we want to become a net exporter of green hydrogen. The mission will have wide-ranging benefits, creation of exports, etc., etc. And one thing you have to remember is this 5 million metric tons. This is also very frequently asked question. Okay, the target of this national green hydrogen mission is it aims to achieve the what is it is 5 million metric tons capacity by 2030. This is frequently asked with the potential to reach 10 MMT per annum with the growth of export markets. Okay, so 5 million metric tons by 2030 is the target. Okay, and achievement of mission targets is expected to reduce cumulative 1 lakh crore worth of fossil fuel imports by 2030. So by 2030, we are expecting to reduce cumulative 1 lakh crore worth of fossil fuel imports. So all these are very important points. Ministry of New and Renewable Energy will be responsible for the overall coordination. So New and Renewable Energy Ministry. Try to remember this also. Okay. So in the question, what you can say, I mean, you can put some other Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, etc. So it will look the same. Or Ministry of Sciences, Ministry of Science and Technology. Okay, so they will all look like relevant, but this National Green Hydrogen Mission is by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, and the mission secretariat is headquartered in MNRE. Will formulate schemes and programs for financial incentives to support the production, utilization, and export of green hydrogen. Anyway, so try to remember these key points. One is this to make India an exporter of the fuel, green hydrogen, 5 million metric tons, and also this around 19,774, so almost 20,000 crore by 2030. So all these are 2030. Okay, remember this. And also to reduce cumulative 1 lakh crore worth of fossil fuel imports by 2030. So consider the following statements with respect to the green hydrogen mission. It aims to make India net exporter of green hydrogen mission, which is true. It targets to build capabilities to produce at least 5 million metric tons, okay, by 2030, which is true. We saw 5 million, 5 MMT by 2030. Niti Aayog will be responsible for overall coordination and implementation. So this is wrong. Okay, what the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy will be responsible. So it is only two are correct. How many of the given are correct? Two are correct. Only two. Option B. So with reference to the carbon credit, consider the following statements. So let us look at what is carbon credit. So carbon credit, also known as carbon offset, is credit for greenhouse gas emissions reduced or removed from the atmosphere by a emission reduction project, which can be used by governments, industry, or private individuals to compensate for emissions they generate elsewhere. Okay, those that cannot easily reduce emissions can still operate at a higher financial cost. Carbon credits are based on the cap and trade model that was used to reduce sulfur pollution in the 1990s. So that is how it started. Try to remember. One carbon credit is equal to 1 metric ton of carbon dioxide, or in some markets, carbon dioxide equivalent gases, okay, CO2, and are bought and sold through international brokers, online retailers, and trading platforms. So basically, say if a country like India, it cannot afford to cut down on what is say emissions completely, because we are a developing nation with a lot of demand. So what we do is, in order to cater to these multiple international agreements, okay, Montreal Protocol and all these things, so we can buy these carbon credits. So rather than trying to reduce carbon emissions somewhere else, say somewhere in Netherlands or Germany, some company is installing some new machinery to reduce pollution, etc. So they will get carbon credits. We can purchase those carbon credits, okay, through international brokers, online retailers, etc. So offsetting of 1 metric ton of carbon means that there will be one less metric ton of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Okay. The Kyoto Protocol provides three mechanisms that enable countries or operators in developed countries to acquire greenhouse gas reduction credits. So Kyoto Protocol is mainly related to this reduction of greenhouse gases. Okay. Montreal Protocol is specifically related to the ozone layer. Okay, to reduce the depletion of the ozone layer. That is Montreal Protocol and the Kigali Agreement and all those things. Kyoto Protocol, on the other hand, is more related to the greenhouse gas reduction. So the three mechanisms under Kyoto Protocol is joint implementation. That is, a developed country with relatively high cost of domestic greenhouse reduction to set up a project in another developed country. That is joint implementation. So a country like US goes and puts up some project in Africa. Okay, there is a joint implementation. So another one is clean development mechanism, where developed country can sponsor a greenhouse gas reduction project in a developing country. So rather than directly going and doing it, it can provide money. Okay, that is called CDM. And also IET, okay, International Emissions Trading. Countries can trade in the international carbon credit market to cover their shortfall in assigned amount units. Countries with surplus units can sell them to countries that are exceeding their targets under this Kyoto Protocol. Next, cap and trade. So cap and trade is an approach that harnesses market forces to reduce emissions cost effectively. Like other market-based strategies, it differs from command and control approaches where the government sets performance standards or dictates technology choices for individual facilities, etc. So cap and trade allows the market to determine a price on carbon, and that price drives investment decisions and spurs market innovation. So cap and trade differs from a tax that it provides high level of certainty about future emissions, but not about the price of those emissions. So anyway, just remember broadly cap and trade, okay, and three mechanisms are joint implementation, clean development mechanism, and international emissions trading. So in joint implementation, you go set up a project in a developed country, and I mean developed or developing country. In clean development mechanism, you sponsor, okay, you sponsor in a developing country. So in joint implementation, developed country set up a project in another developed country, not developing. Okay, keep that in mind. So basically two developed countries, okay, so say USA and Germany, okay, they both to come together and set up a project to reduce the greenhouse gases. That is called joint implementation. And all these three mechanisms are under Kyoto Protocol. And this is about the carbon credits. And these carbon credits are based on the cap and trade model that was used to reduce sulfur pollution in the 1990s. So let us see. So, with reference to the carbon credits, consider the following statements. One carbon credit is equal to 1 metric ton of carbon dioxide, or in some markets, carbon dioxide equivalent gases. So, which is true? Okay, one carbon credit is equal to 1 metric ton of carbon dioxide, or in some markets, equivalent. Okay, next, it is based on the cap and trade model. So, yes, that is also true. It is based on the cap and trade model. Okay, so both 1 and 2 are correct. So, which of the following are the sources of indoor air pollution? So, let us look at indoor air pollution. So, the air within homes and other buildings can sometimes be more polluted than the outdoor air. Okay, so indoor air quality is important. So, some of the sources of indoor air pollution is radon. Radon is invisible radioactive atomic gas, results from the radioactive decay of radium. It may be found in rock formations beneath buildings or certain building materials also. So, radon is the second most frequent cause of lung cancer after cigarette smoking. So, try to remember all that. Second hand smoke, that is, if someone is smoking, if you are standing beside, then that is called second-hand smoke. And what happens? It is tobacco smoke which affects other people other than the active smoker. It includes both gaseous and a particulate phase, that means the carbon particles, arising from levels of carbon monoxide and very small particulates. So biological chemicals, they can arise from a host of means like moisture-induced growth of mold colonies, natural substances released into the air such as animal dander, that means the skin of animals, okay? When it's well, like minute particles, it mixes in the air, okay? And plant pollen, etc. So all these are biological chemicals. Ozone, see ozone if it is in the stratosphere, it is stopping the UV rays, it is fine. But ozone which is present in the what you say in the atmosphere is also not good for the human being. Okay, so ozone is produced by ultraviolet light from the sun hitting the Earth's atmosphere, lightning certain high voltage electric devices as a byproduct of other types of pollution. So this is where you might get confusion. Okay, you might think ozone is a good thing, right? Ozone stops blocks UV radiation from the sun coming to the Earth. So you will not expect ozone to be part of pollution. But ozone, if it is present in the troposphere, in the air which we breathe, then that is also important pollutant. Only if it is in the stratosphere, it is good for us. Air fresheners. Many air fresheners employ carcinogens, volatile organic compounds, and known toxins such as phthalate esters in their formulas. Most of the products have been studied contain chemicals that can aggravate asthma and affect reproductive development. So even air fresheners are not good. So which of the following are sources of indoor air pollution? Okay, phthalate esters. Okay, ozone. Yes, this is where many people will get confused. Okay, they might go for option C, radon. Okay, and animal dander. Animal dander is basically whatever from the skin of the animals that comes out and mixes in the air. Okay, small particles. So all these are causes of indoor pollution. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is the answer. Okay, now let us go to the next question. So consider the following statements regarding the Water Act 1974. So this is also very important act, frequently asked. Water Prevention and Control Act of 1974. Okay, so all these acts, Wildlife Protection Act, Forest Act, Water Act, okay, Air Act, all these things, okay, we have to uh, prepare thoroughly. So let us first look at what is the act saying. Okay, so the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act was enacted in 1974 to provide for the prevention and control of water pollution and for the maintaining or restoring of wholesomeness of water. It was amended in 1988. Next, the Water Cess Act was enacted in 1977 to provide for the levy and collection of cess on water consumed by persons operating and carrying out certain types of industrial activities. Okay, so first Water Act came 1974 to provide clean water. Then cess. Okay, in 3 years, 1977, there was a cess Act also, especially for industrial activity. Okay, the cess is collected with a view to augment the resources of the Central Board and State Board for Prevention and Control of Water Pollution. So this Pollution Control Board comes under the Water Act. Okay, that is one thing frequently asked. So the PCB, Pollution Control Board, which is a very important board, that is mainly constituted through the Water Act. The act was last amended in 2003. Okay, so in 2021 October, India's Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change published Environment 115 Amendment Rules 2021 to add regulation on the use of water purification systems. Okay. Next, users of domestic water purification systems and other water purification systems have to comply with the guidelines issued by the Central Pollution Control Board within 6 months of promulgation of this regulation. So now let us look at the question. Consider the following about Water Act. Under this act, a cess is levied and collected on water consumed by persons operating and carrying certain types of industrial activities. So See, it is talking about under this particular act, 1974, but cess is actually collected under 1977 Act, not 1974. So that is wrong. In 2022, government amended rules under the Act to add regulations on the use of water purification system. That is not 2022, that is 2021. Okay, 2021, India's Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And it's regarding the rules 2021 to regulate the use of water purification systems. So neither one nor two, both are wrong. Okay. In this particular case, it is 1977 and this is 2021. Okay, so consider the following: biodiversity loss, international waters, chemicals and waste, climate change, renewable energy. How many of the above are included in the five focal areas of the World Environment Facility? So, World Environment Facility is also very important. So, the Global Environment Facility has a unique governing structure organized around the Assembly, Council, Secretariat, 18 agencies, Scientific Technical Advisory Panel, and the Evaluation Office. Sometimes it can be asked in a question also, so try to remember that also. It has an Assembly, Council, Secretariat, 18 agencies, Scientific Technical Advisory Panel, etc. etc. So, financial mechanism provision by GEF. GEF provides funding to assist developing countries in meeting objectives of international environmental conventions. The GEF serves as a financial mechanism to five conventions. Okay, so these are very important. Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, Stockholm Convention on Persistent Organic Pollutions, and the UN Convention to Combat Desertification, and Minamata Convention on Mercury. So all these are very important, very fundamental. Looking at the name, you have to identify. For example, Minamata Convention is on mercury, and the Stockholm Convention is regarding persistent organic pollutants. The Convention of Biological Diversity, okay, how to safeguard various plants and animals. And UNFCCC is the umbrella, okay, UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. This is the umbrella program, and under this, all these Montreal Protocol, Kigali Agreement, okay, Conference of Parties, Kyoto Protocol, all these things come under this UNFCCC. Okay, so GEF, Global Environment Facility, basically provides funding for this. Acts as a financial mechanism to all these five. So these five focal areas are: it supports developing countries work to address the world's most pressing environmental issues. Those are biodiversity loss, okay, convention on biological diversity, we have just seen, chemicals and waste, climate change, international waters, and land degradation, okay, and it take an integrated approach to support more sustainable food systems, forest management, and cities. So basically, so C is the answer, only four. So what are those four? Biodiversity loss, international waters, chemicals and waste, and climate change, not renewable energy. Okay. So renewable energy is not there, but apart from that, you have land degradation. Okay, climate change is there, international waters, all these things is there. Okay, international waters, biodiversity loss, chemicals and waste, climate change, everything is there. Renewable energy is not part of the World Environment Facility. Okay, this what you say, this funding mechanism GEF. Okay, Global Environment Facility. Fine. So in the next class, let us continue with five more questions. Okay, thank you.